go in Donald Trump's
Yeah,
direction.
well, states aren't his constituency.
So,
people
Marisa, going off of what Jacob has said, is that so far a sufficient answer for you? Where do you find qualms?
No, it's not a sufficient answer because who holds the president accountable? That's how the people know what's going on.
And just to provide objective context, that story was withdrawn. I do see your point, though, but let's press on that. Let's press on the Russia ties.
Okay.
So then, Marisa, where do you find the controversy with Russia really begins and ends?
This is the thing.
You can say that it. Okay, I lost a second.
No worries. So I'll offer a counterpoint and you respond to that.
Thank you.
So one thing that the Trump administration has been saying is that nowhere in here is it saying it's a Muslim ban. Also, additionally, the critique was given that it did give an exclusion to those of minority religions, which most have understood to be Christian minorities. But it also includes Sunni minorities from Iran. So where in this are we interpreting a religious sect, a religious test, that if that is the constitutional basis of which it's being infringed?
Well, let me just say this.
I'm as threatened and my safety is as threatened by a radical Christian as is by anybody who may be a Muslim terrorist.
Then if I can, let me provide a counterpoint. So Christianity and Islam, let me provide the two differences between extremism, at least in the sense that it's happened in the United States. All the attacks that have happened that we've classified as Islamic extremism were then declared to be done for the Islamic extremist state. For Christianity's sake, Dylan Roof and the Aurora shooter didn't come out and say they did this for God or for Jesus. One did it for white supremacy and the other did it because he was nuts.
I mean, let's not pretend that Christianity didn't fuel some of those beliefs, though.
But then show me the correlation is what I'm asking.
Well, let me put it.
Our funding was taken away because she didn't like what we had at the involvement fair, which was unrelated.
So then the question lands with funding, if I'm correct. Where was the funding used and where was it not used and where was it repaid back to CSUN?
We haven't received funding yet.
Our president and our vice president and our Senate president.
Do you then still hold that the money that was used, well, let's not use the money, the pictures that were used, the exhibit that was used, do you still find that in correction with what was presented at CSUN? Do you, the claims you just made, do you still hold on to those after what Claire has just said?
Well, yes, because she stayed.
Republicans stayed holding this past election.
After Obama came into office, in the midterms following his election, everyone was like, well, Sarah Palin is the Tea Party candidate in a certain sense, and everyone kind of laughed it off like we currently are, but in the midterms, in the midterms following the election, Tea Party politicians got put in office. We had the Freedom Caucus, we had the Tea Party Caucus. So don't we think we're kind of having a repeat of history in a certain sense, laughing at alt-right politics?
A political reality. I don't think they're going to gain seats.
But you just said, as Sean was talking about, there's not really an alt-right candidate. Even you said, well, Trump is a bit of an alt-right candidate. Yeah. So, Sean, let me press you there. Do you think Trump at least manifests in some way as an alt-right political activist? He's talking to Alex Jones, who of InfoWars, which has been considered.
Oh, trust me, I'm very
and of course we have and they have a seat at the White House press secretary meetings.
Forward to.
And Breitbart has been a significant player inside the Oval Office. So how are we approaching this by not saying that Donald Trump is not the alt-right candidate?
We're in a dream. This is not really happening.
Okay, yeah, I think it is fair enough to say he was. You know, this is fact. It's just fact. I don't know what else to say to that.
And so from there we go to the end-all be-all part of the immigration plan, the wall. Marisa, I want to start with you. What do you find is some misgivings when it comes to the wall and Trump's plan with the wall against Mexico?
It's not how most immigrants come into this country.
They're in Syria. They're in Syria.
And we're going to have to hold those 2 points, because let's get to another part of the immigration plan, according to Donald Trump, which is increasing the vetting processes of those immigrants coming to the United States. Now, a question I have for you is, how does this compare to the Obama vetting processes that were in place before Trump, and what does Trump want to change exactly when it comes to bringing immigrants into the country?
Okay, so this is directly with leadership again.
That he can hopefully inspire in the country.
So he's speaking in a common tongue to Americans, right?
Oh, of course.
Right. And do you feel like that's a better way for Trump to give his inaugural speech? I mean, some speeches given by past presidents were meant to be more rousing, more mission statements, more goal setting, and Trump's was, again, a stump speech.
Well, it was Trump being Trump.
Is that always good, though?
You know, Trump is who he...
Productive.
Productive.
For their sense of the word.
Okay. So for their definition.
For like what they want to do, yeah.
Okay, for their agenda. Yeah. And Lee, one statement for describing the next 100 days of the Trump administration.
We're going to war. That's it.
Well, if that happens, we'll be here. Don't know with who, but we if that is true, we'll find out shortly. That's our time. I want to thank our panelists and let you know we'll be right back with our final segment after this.